Hi, my dear student. I hope you are doing well. Today lecture is Eclectic Approach. What do we mean by EA? EA is an acronym for Eclectic Approach. What do we mean by EA or Eclectic Approach or Eclecticism? Eclecticism, defined by Al-Hammash 1985 as a type of methodology that makes use of the different language learning approaches instead of sticking to one standard approach. That means that the purpose of using eclecticism in teaching English language here is to take the advantages of each method or approach and technique in ELT, it is an acronym for English language teaching, and use them depending on the classroom circumstances abilities of the learners. What are the principles of eclectic approach? Dr. Richards published on his website, personal website, that his opinion, about this approach, which he considered a problem-based approach to teaching. That means its principles consist of the following. Number one, what particular problem do my learners encounter in mastering this aspect of language or language use? It means identify the problem. This is the first principle. And the second principle, what procedures can I make use of from available methods and approaches that could be used to address this problem? So the second principle will be identify the solution or the best procedure for solving the problem, which it is the first principle. So the first principle is identifying the problem, and the second one, identifying the best solution or treatment for this problem. These are the principles of eclecticism or eclectic approach. The role of the teacher in eclectic approach depends on the role he depend from which method or based on which problem. So sometimes he has to be imaginative, energetic, and willing to experiment for the purpose of keeping lessons varied and interesting. As we said in the principles that depend on the problem and its solution. The students in this approach have a very interactive role because they have to interact with their teacher and other students actively and as much as possible. Why? To get the more benefit they can get. Someone may wonder about the role of student native language in eclectic approach. Actually, this depends on what the method the teacher adopt in his area. What is the nature of interaction between teacher and student in eclectic approach? as we mentioned in the role of the student, they both interact with each other, and also the student interact with other students. The areas that are emphasized in eclectic approach actually is the vocabulary. It is one area. The vocabulary is the most area emphasized in this approach. The quality of one's language skills obviously depends upon the quality of its vocabulary. That means if I am concentrate on speaking skills, I have to learn my students' vocabulary they use in speaking, also in writing. So the the language area are emphasized in this approach depends on what skills I want my students to concentrate. If I want them to write in the target language better than speaking, I have to concentrate on the vocabulary they use in written language more than the spoken language, and so on. How is evaluation accomplished in EA? Students asked to use the target language, not to demonstrate their knowledge about the language. That means I don't ask the student whether they know about, for example, let us say the present simple. No, I don't want them to show me how they are mastering present simple in an exam. I want them to use present simple in their daily communication or interaction with me. This is how I evaluate my student in EA. How does the teacher respond to student error in EA? Actually, the teacher has to identify one approach to respond to student's error. Maybe he collect from different approaches or methods and make for himself or herself a unique system of correcting errors. So, but he has to stick in this system. The techniques of teaching and learning process in EA are innovative and enjoyable teaching. That means the teacher innovates a new methods or a new system and make the student enjoy in teaching and learning process. Active participation, whether from the student or the teacher, both of them are active participator. Also individual needs, that means I take care of the individual needs of the student. Practical and objectively learning. That means I practice what I aim to learn. For example, I aim to learn speaking, I have to practice speaking. Retained knowledge. It means I have new knowledge every day. Breaking boredom. It means, as we mentioned, the first characteristics, I have to make my student enjoy, not bored. Methodology clearness. Actually, this aspect or this item related to the teacher himself or herself, because it identifies the method that he used in this aspect. For example, in teaching composition, for example, I use the GTM method. In In clarifying the meaning of vocabulary, I use the DM method and that's it. So it means the clearness of the methodology or the method that the teacher used. Implicit testing and solving a problem. Actually, solving a problem increase interaction in the classroom. Also, we have clear vision. That means identifying the aims, whether for the students or for the teacher. And also, we have multiple tasks. It means maybe the activity has more than one task. High interaction, as we said, or as we mentioned, obviously. And objective correlative. Also fast result. Authentic experiences. And progressive learning. Comprehensive skills. What are the techniques of EA? Actually, the techniques are various as the methods used and as the aim are set. So it depends on the problem, as we said. It depends on the principles of the EA itself, because firstly we identify the problem, then we identified the solution. So we select the best method to treat this. So it depends on the method that we use. Thank you for your listening and for your time. The text lecture link in the description box. Don't hesitate to write your question or your comment. And have a good day.